everyone. How are you all doing?
Really good. Really good.
By the way, amazing. We just saw you guys. Weren't they amazing?
Yeah.
Insane. So let's give them all a round of applause.
Woo!
Now, in the Philippines, we like to say mabuhay when we greet people. That means well done. No, it's not. It means hello. That's our hello. And it is so lovely to be able to be here with you today and to be able to just chat for a little bit. Now, before we begin, of course, it is time to introduce yourselves one by one. Is that all right? Okay. So, is it okay if we start over here? Yes, please. Yeah. Tell us your name and, of course, the role you'll be playing.
To my name.
Oh, sorry. That's
Hello.
There you go.
So my name is Ellis, and I play Evan Hansen.
Hey, Alice. All right. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Helen and I play Cynthia Murphy.
Hello, my name's Tom. I play Jared Kleinman.
Hi, my name's Hal and I play Larry Murphy.
Hello, I'm Reese and I play Connor Murphy.
Hi, I'm Becky McInnes and I play Heidi Hansen.
Hi, I'm Olivia and I play Alana Beck.
Hi, I'm Sunny and I'm the ultimate Evan Hansen, so I do all the matinees.
I'm Zoe and I play Zoe Murphy.
Oh, cool. Her name is. It's not going to be very difficult to remember then. All right. So here you go. This is the cast of Dear Evan Hansen, Manila. So I mean, this is usually the first thing we ask people who come to Manila. How has Manila been to you so far? Anybody? Any? Yes, of course, please.
It's been amazing. The people are so lovely for a start.
So lovely.
And I've been eating chicken with portobello like every day. It's my new favourite meal. I'm having the best time.
Thank you. We all love a good chicken and pork adobo. Anybody else? Anybody else with a?
It's fantastic. We haven't had much time yet to explore and see anything, but I've been lucky. I was here in 2018 with Mamma Mia, so I have seen a little bit more. Thank you. It's so good to be back, and I'm excited to share all the places that I did explore before with this cast. So I'm looking forward to going to Tagaytay. I went there before, which was amazing. So we'll definitely do that on one of our days off. So if you have anything to recommend, do let us know.
I do. Bulalo.
Oh, yeah.
It's bulalo. It's this kind of soup with beef and bone marrow. If you're into that stuff,
I'll try that.
Quite amazing.
Amazing.
On a cold day, yeah.
Okay.
Anybody else with a really special story from the? And I'm sure that you haven't had time to go out yet, and it's gonna be fun. I am sure. And GMG. Sam definitely knows some really cool places here in she'll take you out. All right, so I do have a very, it's a little bit deep, but definitely important. Now, this goes out to anyone in the cast. Why do you think is it so important to revisit Dear Evan Hansen in 2025?
I personally think it's just such an important story. Like, I think it is so much about connection and people's flaws and just all of that, and I just think it is always relevant. I don't think it matters what period you're in. I think it's always so relevant all of the time, and I think everyone can relate to someone in the story. I don't think it matters who you are. I don't think it matters whether you're a dad, a mum, a son, like literally anyone. I think you can always relate to someone within the play. And I think it's so important for anyone, even any people that aren't necessarily into musical theatre, and it's maybe their first time, I think they will still be affected, and I've seen so many people be affected by the story, even when they haven't, seen much musical theatre before. I think it's so powerful, and then on top of that, the music is beautiful, and I think that tells a story in itself, and as well as all the choreography and the script work and the acting. It's amazing, like, absolutely amazing.
Absolutely. Anybody else?
I think it's important again in 2025. I mean, obviously the show opened before COVID, and the story is much about social media and like isolation, and I think we all experienced that during COVID. So bringing it back to life after COVID, I think people can relate to it even more.
And on that, social media has come on so far in like, is it about 10 years? It's the show's been in existence, and it used to all be about like Facebook, and now we have like TikTok and all this, and so it's come on so much that yeah, it's really great to visit that with a slightly younger audience.
Absolutely. There's such a beautiful human story under it, and it is definitely about connection, like you said. Thank you very much for those lovely answers. Now, again, what do you think could be the most powerful message that anyone can take away from watching Dear Evan Hansen?
Well, I mean, I'm new to the show, so I've only been involved with for the show for 4 weeks. I play Connor's father and Cynthia's husband. And for me, what's really relevant about the show is that however difficult life may seem, and in this show, without giving anything away, Dear Evan Hansen, through no fault of his own really, finds himself in a situation which becomes more and more difficult with every scene. And you can see that he really is struggling under the weight of decisions which are too late to change. But when it seems that it's his darkest hour, there is this glimmer of hope. And that message of hope at the end is really clear and really strong. So I think that the overriding and strongest message you can take from this is that however dark and gloomy it may seem, there is a glimmer of hope which will, in your song reflects that, doesn't it? So big, so small, something that seems so big eventually becomes small. So hope, hope, hope.
Beautiful. Hope. Zoe, you felt a little bad that you weren't mentioned by your stage.
You're my dad.
Sorry, Zoe. Sorry, I'm very sorry.
That's literally my whole character.
Thank you very much. And anybody have anything to add on, or was that that's it?
I think as well, I mean, there's a whole song about it, but a very strong message is you will be found, right? I think it's, especially revisiting this show as a young adult now. I've loved this show since I was a teenager, which a lot of us younger cast have done, grown up, especially you, grown up with it. And I think going through experiences as a young adult and then coming back to this, really hearing the lyrics for the first time and actually being able to understand the weight of them. I think going throughout the motions of life is not easy, and I think as you go out of teenagehood and step into being an adult, there's things and challenges that we're faced with, especially over the last few years with the pandemic and lots of change in the world. I think knowing that we are all kind of in this together, and at the end of the day we're all here on this planet doing the same thing, and that we need to just remember that we can look out for each other and that you will be found and you're not alone. It's almost like they knew what they were doing with those lyrics.
Beautiful, thank you. And that's why they're on the shirt. I saw the shirt right there. It looks amazing. Okay, so this one is a question for our Evans. That is Ellis and Sunny. As Evan, what's one moment in the show that still gives you goosebumps even after performing this for a while now? Is there anything that always okay, this is it. This is why?
For me, I think words fail. I think it's just so powerful. It is so powerful, and it is just someone being so honest with themselves, and literally just everything coming out, and everything of how he feels about himself, of how what he's done, and it is just him, essentially writing a letter to himself, just saying everything. And I think it's so relatable in so many ways, and I think so courageous of him to be that honest with himself. I think that's something that people don't really, I think a lot of people don't do. I think a lot of people struggle with is to be completely honest with themselves, and I think he kind of thinks that as a weakness in that time, but in reality I think there's so much strength in that, in being able to just be completely honest with yourself and release that, and it gives me goosebumps every single time.
Thank you.
I agree. I think it's words fail for me. It's such a cathartic song to perform as well, because you hold so much when you're playing Evan Hansen. You hold so much tension, and you're having to hold on to all of this. I don't know how to say this weight that Evan holds throughout the whole show, and it's him getting to release that honesty, and the whole show he's lying to himself basically to try and find this connection, and then once things turn out the way they do, it's that he just comes clean with these people and himself. Yeah, it's easily my favorite part of the show.
It's such a beautiful moment of vulnerability that allows everybody to join in. And I was that. I've made those mistakes too. You know, that's such a great answer. Thank you very much to our Evans. Now this one is for the parents. This is for Rebecca, Helen, and Hal. Now the show portrays parents who are doing their best, yet sometimes miss what their children are really going through. What do you hope parents and the audience would take away from this story, especially when it comes to navigating parenting in the age of mental health challenges and, of course, social media?
Well, I think what's great about this show is that parents and children alike can relate to it. And I feel like if parents come and watch this show, they will take a minute to remind themselves to kind of check in with what their kids are doing, no matter how busy you are. You know, life gets busy, but and also to open a conversation about mental health. You know, if you see it on stage, if it's represented, then it's easier maybe for you to go to your parents and talk about mental health, and I think that's really important in this day and age.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that did actually happen. So I was in the show in the UK on tour most recently, and we did have parents, like dads especially, coming to us afterwards saying thank you so much because this has opened up a conversation with my son that I didn't feel I was ready to do before, or he's been really shut down, and I feel just from watching this show it has just opened that conversation, as you just said. So I think it really helps just to, because people don't say what they feel, they don't feel that they have that strength, and then just from watching a show, which is so random, but it's amazing. That's one of the wonderful things about theatre, is that it just starts you talking, and if you can help in some way, that is amazing. We've done our job, so it's really satisfying.
That's very powerful. And also, kids, just a reminder, your parents, they're also going through it, for the very first time. So thank you for the beautiful answers. Now let's go back to our Evans again. So it's so difficult. This character is racked with social anxiety. And for you to be able to portray that with sensitivity and to portray that with respect, and of course to be believable, that must be so difficult to portray on a nightly basis. So how do you prepare for something like that?
Well, I think for me, it's I feel like you hear it a lot where they say, "Oh, you have to play the truth." But I think what I mean by that is like your truth. So how it's real to you. So I would do things that I do when I'm nervous or I'm overwhelmed or like anything like that. And I would kind of think what I would do. So is that like a sweaty palm, or is that like something as simple as like your knee rocking, or you playing around with something like a ring, or like just anything like that? And I think you just think, right, okay, what do I usually do? Because I think if you go from that place, I think it is truthful and it is respectful, because that is what someone actually does. That's what I do. So I think if you can come from that place as opposed to trying to copy someone else, or being like, what does someone who's got social anxiety do? So I think if you go from that point, it just ends up being that's manufactured, and that's just a little bit too. I think that is almost, it can come across as you're taking the mick out of someone, or it's copying. So that's what I personally try to do, is just to kind of relate to myself to a certain extent, just keep it truthful.
Yeah, I feel like you have to. I agree, and but also, as coming from it, like, as an actor's perspective, you have to be so delicate with the way that you approach it, because you can be a caricature of someone who has social anxiety. But I think, and it helps with our direction as well, to like toe the line really gracefully, I think. But for me personally, when it comes to having to step in and do the show, I like to take like maybe 5 minutes before the show, I try and keep the arm cast off, and then it's the last thing I put on, and putting that on then puts me into what he's feeling. Exactly. And it's finding things, because it is such a heavy show and you do carry so much weight throughout the show. You have to find time before and after to just like alleviate that and find like to release it, I think. And for me, it's stepping into it, but not holding on to all these things, because I think, yeah, I can definitely relate to things that Evan goes through in the show. So it's not sitting with the things that I've experienced that relate to Evan, it's just putting it to one side and being like, that's the way I'm doing the show, and then it can come back when the time is needed.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Very helpful as well for aspiring actors out there. That's a really, really good process. Okay, now this one is for Reese, who plays Connor. Now, many audiences see Connor as a symbol rather than a fully fleshed out person. So, what's important to you in making him feel real and human on stage?
Yeah, I think for me it's important to. There's obviously not a lot of time at the start of the show to establish him as a real, fully fleshed person with a personality. So for me, it was quite important to push that as much as possible. A lot of what we see of him is a skewed version or a perception of how he's seen through someone else's eyes. So yeah, I think for me, it's kind of nice to have him be remembered for the real version of him. I guess it's kind of similar to how the plot unfolds, where it's kind of everyone jumping on the bandwagon a bit, where it's, I knew Connor Murphy because we looked at each other once, kind of thing. So it's nice to imagine that the audience is getting a lasting impression of what he was actually like. Good or bad is up to you. But yeah.
Lovely, thank you. Maybe later we can ask you to sign something.
Yeah.
For a piece of clothing, you know, that would be cool.
I will do the whole thing.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, now this goes out to everyone. All right, this is not something you can usually do, especially when you're acting, especially when you're preparing for a role. But if you could just step out of your character and give advice to the character that you're playing, like, bro, just calm down or something like that. What advice would you give your character as the actor? Why don't we start over here with Zoe?
I think this is an interesting question actually, because I feel like, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like out of all of the characters, I think Zoe speaks her truth pretty well throughout the show. I think she speaks it so well that she opens herself up to someone and then ultimately gets hurt. But I think if I could give her advice, I would say to not let that get in the way of any future relationships, and to really, I think family is so important. We all have family, and I think some people choose their family, some people are born with their family, and I think just making sure that you appreciate that connection you have with these people. Probably the advice I would give to her.
It's beautiful. Everybody can use that.
I would say to Evan that the version of himself that he, at the start of the show, that he really loathes, that version, just being his true self, people will love him for that, and he doesn't see that initially. But I think throughout the show he doesn't change himself for these people, he is very much still the same person. But yeah, the version of yourself that you dislike, people will love that.
Beautiful.
I think that Alana really wants to be seen and wants to be heard and to feel chosen. And I would tell her that she is enough. I think that's maybe more of an affirmation than advice, but she wants to be seen and chosen so much that she will jump on the bandwagon and do things that maybe aren't morally right just to have friends, because she's so lonely. And I think if she knew that she was enough, she didn't have to pretend or play up to anything else, and she could just be her, then maybe she would do the things that she does.
I would probably say to Heidi, take the money from the Murphys and send your kids to uni. Swallow your pride. No, just like I was saying earlier, just if you have got a teenager, take time, check in. It's sometimes there's more going on than you realise.
Thank you.
I think I would tell Connor that he's maybe not as different to everybody else as much as he thinks he is. I feel like it's a pretty universal feeling that when you feel that the world is kind of against you and it's you against everyone else. And I feel like I would just want him to know that that is a universal feeling and that it's okay to feel that way, and to kind of embrace that and see it through would be my advice to him.
Thank you.
Oh, this is quite easy, really. I would say, Larry, whatever you do, never, ever, ever forget that you are also father to your wonderful, amazing daughter, Zoe.
It was by design. We were setting you up for that. Yeah, thank you. Yes.
I think for Jared, who is the family friend of Evan, just to be a nicer person, to be honest. He sort of takes the mickey out of Evan at every single chance he gets, and I think if he could just care and say some nicer words and not to use the bullying that he's had against Evan, then perhaps he wouldn't also be so lonely and go through the things that he goes through. So yeah, just to be a lovely person.
Everybody could use that, actually, especially on social media.
This is really tricky, and I've not really thought about it until now. I think Cynthia was always, I think we discuss it in the last scene where we're fighting a lot. I think Cynthia probably was trying so hard to fix everything all of the time in the whole family, but mainly with Connor, that she was putting all of her attention onto trying to fix him. And I think, and what I have learned as Helen recently is that there's this thing called the let them theory, that if she had let him work out his own problems, he might not have done what he ended up doing. So I'm now thinking maybe if I were to say to Cynthia, let him work it out, take a step back, stop pressurizing him into trying to be the son that you want him to be, it might have worked out in a different way.
Wow, powerful, powerful.
Yeah, for me, I think the first thing I would tell him to do is just breathe. Lord, please. But I would also tell him that he's not broken, that he is beautiful, and that he is, like, your flaws are what make you, and I think your flaws are only, it sounds so, yeah, but your flaws are literally what make you. They're only flaws if you look at them in that way, and I think you can look at your flaws in two different ways, and certain things about you can be a strength, they don't have to be a weakness, and I think it's just how you look at it all, and just to accept what is there and what you struggle with, because we all struggle with different things, and I think the same thing that you struggle with, actually, a lot of the time in your life, without you realizing, has helped you get where you are. So yeah, I would definitely say that to him. Yeah.
Thank you everybody. It really, we have a lot of nuggets of wisdom from today. We have remember you have a daughter. That's probably my favorite one. No, but really a lot of messages of acceptance, self-importance, self-love, and trust. You know, especially when it's difficult. So okay, last night you experienced what it's like to have a Filipino audience, right? To perform in front of a Filipino audience. I have this is a two-part question. First, how was that for you? And second, I mean, I already know this. I speak on behalf of every Filipino in this room. The songs are so good and they're just so beautiful that they stick to us. Like, we're a nation of we love music, we love singing, right? So I already know. So what is it that you would like them to take away from this show moving forward during your performances? Anybody? This goes out to anyone.
I was thrilled at what the audience reaction was yesterday. I had kind of warned people that the audience may not be as vocal as we're used to in the UK, but it was so wonderful. We did get a response, and we did get people laughing. Everyone was really on it and loved it, and you could really tell from an audience, and that was so refreshing for me because I was just like, yes, this is amazing. They do understand us, so that's always good, and we're getting the laughs because there are laughs in the show amazingly and brilliantly. So that was wonderful to see. So and hear. So that really makes our job so much easier and happier, knowing that the audience is responding and appreciating what we're doing. So we all had a wonderful time last night, and I was so grateful for that.
Yeah, no, it was absolutely incredible. I mean, what I think supportive was the word that I could come with. You just felt the entire show, because I think as Evan, you're on stage the entire time, and to have an audience like that feel like they're on your side and they are so supportive of everything you are doing was absolutely beautiful. Like it was incredible just to be able to have that. And as I said, with all the comedic moments in the show, which there are so many, and so many little ones just all over the place, and them laughing at it, them enjoying it, it was absolutely amazing. And to answer the second question was about the music. Just enjoy it. I think sometimes we listen to music so intently, and we, like think about the meaning or think about that, and I think that's so important. But I think as well, just enjoy it. Like just enjoy the music and just sit back and listen to it.
As Sam said a while ago, it's a banger of an album, right? It's a wonderful album. Anybody else with a
yeah, on that with the comedy, a lot of what my character brings to the show is there's a quite deep sad scene, and I come on and liven it up, and my gosh, thank you for laughing. Because my happiness is based on whether the audience laughs or not. So I'll be having a great time in Manila, personally. Thank you. Yes, but yes, it's a bit like what we said before. The message to take away is that of hope, right? You get that escapism with some amazing songs in a really well written script, and you get that can we say spoilers? Do spoilers matter? Or there's a very lovely last scene which sets up for hope at the end. So yeah, again, hope is an everlasting message we want to convey.
There you go. Hope, and I do hope that everybody was able to catch all these wonderful answers that we've been getting from the cast of Dear Evan Hansen. I think we have one last question here. And we are as Filipinos, we are very passionate about theater, especially now in this day and age. We're very passionate, very enthusiastic, and if you have any message, especially for the people who are about to watch you in the coming days, is there anything that you'd like to tell them? Anything that they should pack? Anything that like tissues or something?
Tissues, definitely.
Definitely, yeah. So remember, everyone, you better pack your tissues. And of course, it is such a lovely opportunity, personally for me, to be able to watch this here in Manila. So thank you, each and every one of you, for being here, for being a part of this experience, and for sharing it with us. Theater is a communal experience, and to be able to share it here in the theater at Solaire, GMG Productions, of course, and of course this lovely cast and the crew backstage as well. It is really an amazing time to be alive and to be a theater fan in Manila. So let's give a round of applause once more to the cast.